Today I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks on how to hide bags under your eyes properly. For some people, they have it every single day and it's very genetic. And for others, it's just from way too much partying and just not taking care of yourself like you should be. So I'm going to show you a couple tips and tricks to really conceal without it looking like you concealed, without it looking like, you put a whole bunch of product on and it's caked on, and after the end of the day everything is all creased and nasty. I'm going to show you how to do it properly, how to choose the colors for underneath your eyes, and just how to really get a very natural look, and how to just freshen your face in general. So I'm going to be using the Annabelle concealer palette. So it's 4 tones. This is the Skin True concealer, and this has pretty much, you have a nice kind of mixing base here. You can really play with the 3 colors you have, and there's a highlighter too. So if you want to lighten things up, you can mix it in together. You can really customize the color. So, whether you're using it in winter, in summer, when your skin changes color a little bit, you can really customize it. So first thing is, I know a lot of people try and conceal underneath their eyes with a lighter color because they think that somehow it's going to cancel out the darkness, and it's really going to, instead of using the right color, it's really, it's going to go that extra mile, and it's really going to cover the darkness. That's a total false assumption. Please don't do that, because all you're going to end up doing is highlighting it. It's really going to, if it's too light, it's going to make it stand out. You're going to see the darkness even more. It's just going to be a total disaster. There's actually so many times I've seen even celebrities in the magazines and, in their photo shoots, and it's insane how much concealer they put underneath, and it's so much lighter and it doesn't look good. All I can look at is underneath their eyes, and it's in a V shape, and it's very, very unflattering. I find very unnatural. It's good for photo shoots and stuff like that because, they can play with the lights, they can Photoshop. But if you're just, if you're going out with your friends or to a wedding, people aren't going to necessarily pay attention to you and Photoshop your face in all of the pictures. So, and you want it to look natural anyways. You don't want to show up looking overly made up to anywhere you go in life. You want always your makeup to be as natural as possible. So always use the color that's true to your skin. Usually colors with a little bit more yellow undertone. So these ones are pretty good with that. This one has a little bit of pink as an undertone, but again, you can mix these two together. A cooler undertone it's going to help conceal basically the darkness. It's gonna just smooth out, your skin and the color basically. So you want to first put a base on. So for me, I use a little combination of these two, and most of the time I just use my fingertips, because when you heat up the product especially, you allow it to absorb a little bit better into your skin because you're heating it up, and your pores will absorb the product a little bit more, and as a result, from your skin accepting it that way, it's going to go on a little bit more naturally. So my recommendation is just use your fingertips, but if you want, you can always use a brush. I like actually using lip brushes for my concealer. This one's the A6 brush, I believe. Yeah, and you can just dab, and then, just dab underneath, and you can go into, little areas. If you're a little bit dark on top too, because the skin on the top of the eyelid is very, very thin as well. So sometimes even if it's not dark, you can see it's a little bit more pale, a little bit more of discoloration. So you want to pay a little bit of attention to that too. Obviously concealer, you can use it for your blemishes too. So once you have that base, and you really, even when you do put it on with a brush, you want to make sure after with your fingertips you just go over and just pat it, just blend it in, move it around without moving the product too much. You don't want to pile too much on. You really want to put a nice amount that's going to stay and just cover really nicely. The next thing that I use is the mineral powder. So this one's the This is in Nearly Nude. This is my shade. And the most important thing about concealer is, first of all, concealer is awesome, but you need to definitely set it with a powder. Otherwise, it's not going to last you the full day, and you're going to start to see that it's going to crease. Everybody has little lines, natural lines underneath their eyes and above their eyes, and because it is a bit of a creamy base, you need to set it so that it doesn't move around, so that you don't lose it, so it doesn't melt off of your face, especially on a hot day. You really want to set it. So this powder is really great for that, as opposed to a regular blotting powder or a sheer pressed powder, because it does have pigment. So you can use your shade with just a fluffy brush. This is a blush brush. This is the 828, and you just blot your brush in there a little bit, and you just go over and you just press it down. You don't want to be moving it around too much. Just blotting, just so that whatever creaminess that you still have on your face, just so that it catches the little pigments, catches the dust, and it holds on to them, and it really sets it into place. And again, like I said, because this is pigmented, you can choose your shade and it will add to the coverage. So if you're unsatisfied a little bit, or you don't want to put too heavy of an amount of the concealer on underneath your eyes, you can finish it off with the powder instead. And again, you can go and use even a smaller eyeshadow, like a shader brush, and you can go over it for more of a concealer effect too. You can use this almost as a concealer. So it's foolproof. Like, it will absolutely cover whatever you need to be covered. And after, because again, like I mentioned, sometimes for a lot of us it's just tiredness, you can go and you can highlight your face, and from the same palette you just use this white creamy pigment, and you can put it down the center of your nose, underneath your eyebrows, on your brow bone, down your cheekbones, and it's gonna really lift up, give yourself a bit of a glow, and it's gonna catch the light. It's a bit of contouring basically, but with a highlighter. So those are the basic ways, and with these two tools, basically you can you can hide anything you want, but especially your dark circles. So enjoy.